this video here is to protect your asset. I don't know if you've seen some of Grasshopper's videos where he talks about maps getting scratched and whatnot. That was something, you know, I have never printed a map until I made this custom map. And watching his videos and seeing the scratches on the board wasn't something I was interested in. I have some pretty bad OCD. I don't know how many scratches I can possibly take before I would have to print another map. So with that being said, I took some preventative measures. We've had about 10 games or so now, and I have 0 scratches. I mean, we've had game trays being slid across the map, pieces obviously sliding across the map, chips sliding across the map. I have 0 scratches. Now this is not my map I'm talking about. This is one of the maps from the Bloodbath. So I feel that my test is great. So now I can clear coat the rest of them. And what I used for clear coat was you notice right there the important part, water based. Okay, this is water based. So that in my mind should have no effect on the ink, which it had no effect on the ink. You can't even tell it has been sprayed once it's dried. Don't freak out when you do spray it. It might be white in some places, but don't worry, it will not stay that way. So with that going, let's get spraying. What I do is 2 coats, and so that's this. Let's grab this bad boy. Just gonna hold the camera while I do this. Now, I suggest if you are married, since I am doing this indoors, but it is, like I said, it doesn't really smell too bad. It is water-based. Sorry, the camera's shaking as I shake this can. But like I said, if you are married, I suggest you do this when she's not home. And no harm, no foul, right? So she'll never know about it. Just spray. A couple hours later, you can put it away before she gets home. And that's what we're doing today. This is my 3rd map sprayed in the house, and she doesn't even know. All right, like I say, sorry for the shaking. Let's give a. All right, now I can't confirm. You know, depending on what you print on, what you're spraying. Like I said, you need to, you know, test out first. My map guy, when I printed my maps, told me this material will not scratch. However, I showed him that it does scratch, and then therefore he printed me a free map so I can test and do whatever I wanted to do to it. You know, when I say a free map, he gave me a whole entire map for free. That way I can cut it up and test different things on different spots. Fortunately for me, it worked right the first time, so I actually got a map for free out of the deal. Okay, so here we go. Like I said, this is water-based, really doesn't smell like anything. And of course, there is a smell, but it's not, you know, it don't smell like harsh chemicals. It doesn't smell like lacquer. What I do is I just sprayed this in the morning, and then I go to work and come home, and I made sure I got home early that day just so I can get this picked up before Wendy got home. And if you, some spots might puddle up depending on what you're spraying on. I have these 2 fold-out tables, so it's not absolutely flat. Do not worry about it. Nothing happens. It just dries. Like I said, this is actually my 3rd map spraying now. This is one of the event maps. I don't know if you remember, but I changed a little bit of the map. I made the Hawaiian Islands a little bigger, and a couple other things. So this is actually the 2nd version, 1.2. And so I have a 1.2 sprayed and 1.1. This is actually an older one, 1.1 for the tournament. So I wasn't about to reprint them all because I decided to make a couple territories larger. Like I said, I've gotten probably 10 games out of mine now. 0 problems. Now, that's not to say this because of this. I might have had 0 problems anyways. But it's a little bit of peace of mind knowing that I did the best I could to prevent any more scratches. Or not any more, but any scratches at all. This is not that cheap of a can. This can is like $10. So you gotta think. For me, I gotta spend like $70 in this for my maps because I gotta do 6 for the event and 1 for my personal. So I almost use, that's probably about half the can now that I did 2 passes. Kind of comes out a lot, but that's all I've done so far is just 2. You can see it's, at least in my view, it's kind of milky. It's not so clear as it was, but don't worry, it will dry. It will dry clear as day. You won't even be able to tell it is on there. Okay, well, I hope that helps you out. Like I said, protect your investment. Depending on what you put it on, I don't know, maybe your material somehow doesn't scratch, but I assure you, this one did. Not this one, but like I said, we went to, he told me it didn't scratch. He had a sample banner there, and we both went up to it and dug our fingernails into it a little bit. Not totally crazy, but enough to, like, you know, picking up chips, picking up roundels, this and that. And for sure enough, it scratched. And that's why I got a free one so I can do testing after he said it would not scratch. But like I said, we've had 10 or so games, people picking up roundels, people sliding chips around, people sliding their ships around, people putting peace trays on here, sliding those around, and I got nothing. Alright, and that's my little dog toy right there. Okay, so that's it, guys. Hope this video helps, and good luck with protecting your maps. Bye-bye.